Hey everyone, I'm really pleased to present the new amp from Elite Acoustics. This is the D48 80 watt battery powered acoustic amp. This only weighs 18 pounds, has 6 hours of battery life, 4 channels, different effects, and the ability to plug in further speakers as well. Before we get into what this amp can do, let's have a quick look around the unit. First of all, I just want to give you a quick tour of the different screens and pages of the amp. So when we turn it on, the first thing that will show is the level of each channel. I always recommend going into System first. This will bring up the input meters, and this is really important to make sure that the level of the instrument going into the amp isn't overpowering the preamps. If we click System again, we go into the memory bank. There's 10 spaces that you can save different presets, different settings that you want to dial in. Finally, this is where you can dial in the assigns, whether you want to scroll up and down through the saved presets using A and B. If you change here, it's channel 1 and channel 2, getting into the different effects. This ties in more with the foot switch that you can get separately for the amp. Clicking on System again will bring us back to the input meters. If we go on to Page, that's the main mix, auxiliary mix, delay mix, reverb, and then back to main mix. Page is where we start off here. Clicking Parameter, Pan, main level. Clicking on Page again, into the auxiliary mix, same again. So now we're in delay. Parameter will give us more details. Same again with reverb, parameter, more details here to dial in. Before we dial in any tones, the first thing I want to go through is the different kinds of inputs of the amp. We have the mic line input, which is for instruments that are active, so battery powered preamps, for example. And then the instrument line is for passive pickups. So the first thing I want to show is how passive pickups should be applied with this amp. This pickup should go through the instrument input. So we're going to click this in. That's now on the instrument setting. We change the level. That can bring it up really, really high. But of course, the -12 dB is the goal here. And if I was to put this into the mic line input, here's how it would work. It's much quieter. And you have to really boost the level to bring it in. So of course it's best to use the instrument input. Same again with channel 2. Channel 3 is just mic and line, and channel 4 is just passive. So this would be a good place for this pickup. Okay, so my system generally revolves around a K&K preamp. So that's going to go into the mic and line input. So that's a good comfortable level for this pickup. If we go on to Page, we can see here the main mix is at 12 o'clock. However, with this amp, you can boost it. You can boost it actually fairly high for just a bit of extra volume. I'm going to go back to 12 o'clock just for the sake of this demonstration. So we bring the volume up. The tweeter here has got an individual volume. So let's go into the fun stuff with the effects. let's bring the delay up fairly high just for the sake of this demonstration. If we press parameter again, we can go into more of the settings. If we bring up the repeats really high, this will go on for quite a while. So let's bring that back a bit and put the lo-fi all the way up. Let's bring this back down to a more manageable level. Back into page, we can get to the reverb, individual reverb for each channel. Let's bring that up to 12 o'clock. More settings in here. Got a shimmer here, tone, decay. Okay, so let's bring this all down just a bit. Inside each of the 4 channels, we can click on the encoder here and go into the EQ. So this has got a sweepable mid. We've also got polarity and a notch filter. I really want to show just the power of the high pass. So I bring this all the way to the max and then switch it on and off. You'll really tell the difference. So we'll just turn that back off again. Polarity. We've got gate and compressor. Let's experiment with adding another channel into this. So I've got my K and K in here. Let's add in my pedal board. So we could probably bring this back just a little bit by going into channel 2 here. We have a 3-band analog EQ on the top here. So that's the overall EQ, but we can of course go into individual channels to change the EQ here and save that. So let's save that and then go between channel 1, which has got nothing on it just yet, and channel 2 that I'm working in right now. Let's go into system. We've got this on preset 2. If we hold down this encoder, that's now stored. Now let's go between channel 1, which right now has no effect. Then we're going to preset 2. Preset 1. And lastly, we have a mute button here. One last thing I wanted to add was that if you have one of the various StompMix models made by Elite Acoustics, this interface is very, very similar. So for example, if you have this amp and you've dialed something in that you really like the sound of, you can then dial those same settings into a StompMix, a very compact product, and essentially take what you have dialed in with this amp and take it on the road with the StompMix if you weren't able to take this amp with you.